So I would encourage every Nigerian to experience Kampala at least once in their life, really. It has been so amazing. The people are warm, the country is energy, and you meet, like you get to see, the Kasubitu, my favorite spot. You should definitely visit there. And just, the food is great. You would love plantains. There's like matoke, so there's like, it's like a brother plantain, but it's really delicious. The food is good. Visit Kampala, okay guys?
Thank you.
Okay. So today we have a friend. She's called Chidera, and she's all the way from Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos State.
Lagos State. So she's been traveling around Africa and different countries. And in today's video, she's gonna have to share with us what she has seen, what she's experienced, what she appreciates, and what we could do better as a continent. Starting with Uganda, what have been your first impressions of Uganda 2026?
Okay, I will say my first impression was a bit overwhelming, and it was due to the fact that I used the road. I was coming from Nairobi, and you know, Nairobi is a very different atmosphere from Kampala. And so when I came the first time, it was quite, intense, and the energy was high. I needed to, up my game and be more alert, which I wouldn't say is a bad thing because it's almost similar to Lagos. So I already have that skill, and it's also like Accra, honestly. It's almost the same as every city in Africa. So it was not something negative. It was something I found, okay, now it needs me to adjust. But then after just 30 minutes of relaxation, calming down and adjusting, it was really good, actually. I stepped out, I went to see the environment, and just go around, and I noticed that most of the places were a walking distance to each other, which made me very happy, because now I don't have to be finding Ubers or paying so much for transportation like I did in Ghana, or like in Abidjan, or like in Lagos. Most places are very far distance from each other. But here I've been walking around, seeing all the sights, and it's been lovely. The roads, I would say, the road needs improvement, especially the way to Kasubitu. If you have such a beautiful historical place like that, which is a UNESCO World Heritage, I think you really should be looking into investing in building the road that connects people to such a place. So it's easier for them to go, because not everyone is as dedicated as me to walk down there and see this thing. So the road on that way really was not encouraging. I would encourage development on that, but I made it there. It was a beautiful experience. I was crowned the Ugandan queen. Yes, my tour guide was really nice. I enjoyed her company and the history lessons I got, and I discovered Uganda in its true essence, its histories, its experience with colonialism, its evolution, its welcoming of Christianity and other religions. And I noticed that there is a lot of diversity here, which I would say cuts across East Africa at this point. The diversity that includes like the Arabs, the Indians, the other East Africans. You guys are very intertwined, and the fact that I can find many other national dishes of other countries in just this small city is very exciting, because I got to eat so many different foods that I've not even gone to the country, I've not had these foods in Lagos, even if I know they are in Lagos, but I've not had it in Lagos. In Accra, they are very secluded, and to find them, they are very expensive. But here in Kampala, the price has been as almost equal as a local food price, which was shocking, and I was excited to eat this food. Other than that, I also visited the mosque. The mosque is really gigantic, it's very big. I hear it's like the biggest in Africa. Yes. I also learned about the history of it and how it came to be, and seeing the town, seeing the whole city from there. Basically, all those things was nice. Oh, and I had a really shocking moment where I went to the cathedral to try to see the cathedral church, like the cathedral, and take pictures. But then they said that I'm not allowed to go in with my trousers. So they didn't allow me to go into the cathedral.
That is Namibian cathedral.
Yes.
This is so friendly.
I was not wearing this exact trousers, but I was wearing the trousers like this. I always wear baggy trousers, right? And I was not even wearing a crop top. I was wearing a normal top and fully clothed. And they said no, that I'm not allowed to wear trousers into the cathedral.
They wanted dresses?
They said skirt. And I was thinking in my head, how will I wear skirt for my hotel in this terrible road that is slippery to come to this cathedral? And it was not practical, guys, and you just kind of lost a sort of touristic attraction or earning income, something like that, because I wanted to take pictures. Maybe you could change it, make it develop. People like seeing churches, actually. Churches are beautiful. So, but they didn't let me in and it was discouraging. But other than that, it was really nice. I mean, the customs, then the church doesn't let me in. I'm a Christian, guys. But anyways, so far Kampala has been great. The city is beautiful, the culture is beautiful, the people are warm, I mean, and you can just meet random people, make friends with them, have fun. And I hope to visit another time, really. I'm sad that my trip is going to come to an end, and I hope to see the Lake Victoria though, if I can get there. Other than that, it's been great. And comparing it with other cities I've been at, okay, let's see, Accra and Kampala would be a better comparison because of how small it kind of is. Because I can't compare with Lagos. Lagos is really big. Lagos is bigger in population, bigger in everything, right? So I wouldn't compare with Lagos, but Accra, I would say Kampala has a much more coordinated tone than certain places in Accra. But to get there is very expensive and very impossible for the average African tourist, and I think we need to also encourage African tourism too. So if we want to do that, we need to make it possible for every African to travel to every part of your city, right? Which Kampala made it possible for me. It's been so no, I'm not gonna say cheap,
But it's affordable.
but it's affordable and it's good and it's high quality, high standard affordability. So it will not be regarded as cheap, it will be regarded as good standard, right? But with Accra, it's expensive, not that great. So I'm like, what am I getting for all of this money, you know? With Abidjan, it's cheap and it's very nice. Abidjan is top notch. I think if you want to learn about urbanization, road development, we should model the way they build the roads in Abidjan.
Abidjan is Ivory Coast?
Abidjan is Ivory Coast, yeah. Their roads are really good. Their system of transportation, they introduced city buses. So it's less likely you see a border. Yeah, they have these electric city buses which are really good. They have this sort of like really quality Yango. It's like Uber, but Yango is cheap, so it's easy to connect you to the city and all around. So it's nice, and I would encourage less of the border usage. Maybe the same drivers be transferred to a much more better system that pays them better and doesn't cause road congestion that make it quite difficult for people to walk by. We need more pathways. A lot of the places I needed to visit had barely any pathways, and you're fighting for the road with the borders, you know. It was really hard. But in Accra, they also have this issue. They have very tiny pathways. Africa needs to develop our road systems because we need pedestrians to also be able to feel free and excited to use the road to commute to different places. With Lagos has its pathways, I'm not gonna lie. We have a very condensed road, but we still have pathways, which are big. Our roads they are built like 1, 2, 3, 4 intentionally because it's so many people, right? And the traffic can get crazy. But one thing Lagos does not have is this much nature on the roadside. It's so exposed and you see the way they constructed the nature around, like the trees, and you know, the trees providing shelter for the city. It makes people feel calm to walk by, especially when the weather is this warm, you know. We can just walk by and the wind are being provided by the trees and it's nice. Any other thing I observe is the living standard in Kampala is really great because if the the capital of a country is this affordable, then that is very good. Because Abuja is very unaffordable in Nigeria. Accra is very unaffordable. Abidjan is affordable. Where else? Lome is affordable. Porto Novo was affordable. Where else have I been? And Nairobi was quite good, but it's not as affordable as Mombasa. So typical of a capital, right? But Kampala was one of the most affordable capitals I've ever been in. Talking hotel-wise, food-wise, transport-wise, everything is so cheap. Everything, yes, the amenities are so good.
No electricity issues?
Yes, with electricity. Okay. A Nigerian cannot speak on electricity because we are failing at that.
Okay. Is that African problem?
Yes, but comparing, Abidjan has a higher electricity suppliance. I never experienced a power outage in Abidjan, but in Accra too, you rarely experience. But in certain neighborhoods in Accra, which are not the billionaire area, you would experience electricity outages. In Kampala, I don't know, because it's 2 days I've been here, guys. Are you hiding something? I don't know. I can't say for Kampala because I never experienced any electricity outage here, and I'm jealous because you can't stay 2 days in Lagos and not experience an electric outage. So
one word you would give to any African that would love to explore the continent?
I will tell you this, it can be very frustrating to start the process of wanting to visit every African country because genuinely it's not encouraging. Like crossing the border as a Nigerian itself is very annoying, mostly because of my passport is bad on a general level and our image is not so good, right? And our passport doesn't give us that much mobility, so it's expensive, but then it's nice and nobody treats me shitty, you know? So I think we should start redefining what we think of as a worthy expenditure as Africans and see that visiting African country with that money you would save up to go outside, keeping it here it's worth it, and it's cheaper and it's much more better and much more entertaining and fun, and the nature is here and you could swim and do all the great activities you want, you know. And if one thing I love also about Africa and visiting Africa is that it provides us with the two things. You want extravagance, right? There are places for extravagance. Do not be deceived by the foreigners who come here and try to use the ugly places to market Africa, you know. You want the beautiful to tarnish our image basically, and they're marketing it in a way that benefits them. That's what I'm trying to say. But like, it's basically to build in your mind that what is there in Benin? What am I going to go and see in Benin? Or things like what am I looking for in Kampala? Or what am I looking for in Kigali? Everything is there. You want the beauty, the nature is there. You want the wildlife is there. You want the touche, the posh, the luxury, it's there. It's in Africa. You want the cheap and affordable village life, it's there. But in Europe, you're not gonna get any of that. You're only gonna get the expensive everywhere. So why is traveling? It's basically traveling Africa, right? So travel Africa.
Yeah, I mean, you said something which is very key. That, you know, traveling Africa is what every other African desires, right? But somehow it sounds like we, the Africans, are also making it hard for Africans to explore their own continent.
Starting with visas.
What message do you have for African leaders, especially the ones in African Union?
Yes.
Especially in creating a borderless Africa.
I don't know what the concept of the border is itself, because when I crossed from Nairobi to Kampala, it felt like an imaginary line.
Exactly.
It's like, where is the border, guys? What is the division? I had to pay $100 to just cross from Nairobi to Kampala. Like, Kenya is visa free for all Africans, right? So I didn't have to pay anything to visit Kenya, and I had a wonderful time there, which was also an increase in my budget. I don't have to spend on visa, I increase the budget I spend in the country, right? I have to spend on visa in Kampala, I
have to
reduce the budget
subsidize.
that I
Yeah.
spend in Kampala. So it's literally mental, like it's a wise thing. I'm talking to my country too. I am not even going to say, oh, I encourage all African leaders. My country is one of the worst in accepting Africans. We have visas. Our country is barely visa free for any African country, right? So Nigeria is one of the worst in accepting Africans. So us demanding other Africans to accept us is very, like, you know, egoistic. But I would say we have to start somewhere. Opening your borders for other Africans and creating a borderless Africa is the most wisest thing we can do as a continent, because it removes the bridge or the shillings or whatever, then change to get it. Like, why can't I change my naira? Why can't I carry my naira directly from Nigeria to Nairobi and change it to shillings in Nairobi? There is no naira exchange in Nairobi. There was barely any. Everything, all the options were dollars, pounds, yen, yen. Why can't I carry my cedis from Ghana directly to Nairobi and change it there? Why can't I carry my cedis to Kampala and change it there?
Yeah, this is crazy. We got to take.
So this is Statistics House, responsible for Uganda's population census. That's if they got it accurately. So this is finally Nile Avenue.
They are the ones that instated this currency, and all the money they